So Alexis DeJoria joining us here in the Freak Nation. We don't need to go in the whole litany of times you've been in here and why you've been in here with the Freak Nation, but Phoenix holds a very special place for you. Your first win, but you were a benefactor early on with the SpeedFreaks Mojo when our daughter, who's holding the camera right now, was 2 months old. She crapped on her mom, Crasher, but you went on to win that race. That was in 2014. The lifetime of a driver, a funny car driver, if I would have said, dude, we're going to be doing this in 2025, what would Alexis DeJoria said to me?
Oh, most definitely. 100%. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've got unfinished business. You know that. I didn't come here I'm not a flash in the pan. No, this was my decision from day one. I want to be a funny car champion, period.
When you say a funny car champion, I get that. You could say, okay, it could be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years. And I'm not saying, when are you going to say enough's enough when you win a championship? I'm not going to ask that. But the wear and tear of the road can beat a driver down if he or she is not winning championships.
Oh, most definitely. But look at Ron Capps. Look at how long it took him to win championships. He'd won tons of races. He had never won the U.S. Nationals. We won the U.S. Nationals 2014, so I got that one out of the way early on. But, I mean, you just never know. I mean, John Force, it took him a long time to just win a race, period. And then he went on to be the most winningest, championship driver in the world. So it's a matter of time, and you've got to take the good with the bad. And I'm a fighter. I don't give up, almost to a fault. I'm very loyal to a fault. And, I believe in my team. I'll bleed for my team. I love these guys. They're my family. And I've got a great opportunity to work with a new team. No hard feelings with Dell. I mean, him and I have been through so much. He has been my day one and my mentor and my friend, and it was just time to do something different. And, I wish him the best, and, we're doing good, and I've got his complete, support. So, yeah, things are good.
Dell Worsham, the Worsham last name, is synonymous with drag racing. And when you teamed up with Dell, we all knew that it was going to be what we thought was going to be a lifetime membership. But talking to you earlier, speaking of road weary, a little wear tear on that, this is your first season without Dell to where you're going to turn around and go, where's Dell?
Right.
Has that been strange? Granted, it's only the second race of the season,
right.
But turning around, seeing him every time.
Yeah, he's still there. I saw him in Gainesville in the staging lanes. We crossed paths, and it was like, oh, man, it's great to see you, and, man, great job, and, hey, the track's tricky out there, but you know what to do, and you're a good peddler, and you got this, and, it was just cool. I love the guy, and, it's different. Zippy's pretty mellow. They're very different in their personalities, and their swagger very different. But I like working with him. Neff's, I'd say, one of the top 5 crew chiefs out here, and he's got a hell of a tune-up. And we're just running with one car right now, so we're just being very cautious about how much we're throwing out there. We want to protect what we have. We want to keep our stuff for the race tomorrow. So we did sit out this last round of qualifying, but the track's 130 degrees. We're not going to progress. We're not going to do better than what we did yesterday. So we're sitting 6th right now. We're in the top half of the field. It's a good day, and we're back out here in Arizona where I have a lot of firsts. We won the inaugural Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge here too. So that was good. Yeah.
You touched on it, but getting back to, again, top alcohol, funny car, running funny cars, and now we're here at 2025. The things you've learned have got to be bananas. And I'm not going to bring up I'm going to bring up the female. I'm bringing up the female because it is National Women's History Month.
Oh,
Month.
Okay, the whole month?
It's a whole goddamn year as far as I'm concerned, all right? I've got a freaking broad behind the camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get no days off.
Do you still feel like you said this to us, you felt like you had to work harder to get that ride 11 years ago? Do you still feel like you have to work harder, or are we past that?
There's days where I feel like I do. There's days where I feel like I'll still have that on me, where I am the only female in the class. I wouldn't want to lose to the only female in the class, or like if I was on the other, the shoe was on the other foot. But I mean, I've been out here for long enough. I don't think they really look at me that way. But you get those old timers that are like still like, oh, you know, she got out of the groove, or she doesn't know. They're just, these people don't know anything. You know what I mean? Those are people that sit on their couch and, you know, Monday morning crew chiefs, they try to, you know, talk about what they think they know, and they really don't. But I've definitely pulled my weight out here. I've proved myself, and I earned this spot, and I did it the right way.
Okay, so explain this off season. You just talked about, or you guys had just wrapped up with, it's not easy to gel when you have to do something so fast, but you're proving that you are. Explain how this off season came about exactly, and then when you knew, okay, this is going to be a good fit.
Wow. Well, talking to Joe Maynard, talking to Mike Neff, had a long discussion with him, and you know, we were excited to work together. Phil Zwart from my last team came with me. Thank God. I love Phil. He's been with me since day one. Talk about loyalty. Yeah, he was on my very first Nitro Funny Car team. He was here when we won, obviously. And he just had his girl just had a baby, so it's like that was a big move for him. I give him major props. We gave him a raise right away. Yeah, thank you, Phil. And just to have that, you know, that love, that support, and that familiar face coming over here means a lot to me too.
In Pomona, at the end of the season, you were kind of like, I don't know what's going on next.
Yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow for all of us. To end like that was really brutal, and that was the other reason why I was trying to talk Dell into just like finishing out one more year. Toyota has one more year. Let's just go out with a bang. Like, let's not end on this note. Like, we didn't qualify for we got bumped out again out of the top 10. It just was not how I wanted to finish it, or him, and so I was like trying to rally him up. Come on, Dale. And he's like, man, I've been racing since I was a kid. And he's like, I just can't do the full year thing. And it's hard to find people. I mean, we had a skeleton crew, and we were hiring part-time guys that really didn't know a lot and got overwhelmed fast. I mean,
what does that do to your psyche though, too?
Well, I'm there checking their work, you know, which takes me away from my focus. Which is never good, but that's my ass in that car. That's my safety. So, you know, if my parachutes aren't, you know, coming through the wheelie bar properly, and I hit my that's gonna whip my back end around. Like, and there was a couple times where I was like, hey, that's not right. Who's telling this guy? So, I mean, we were just down on guys so hard that things were getting missed. And the core guys were pulling double duty. I mean, Dell was pulling double, triple duty. And for a crew chief, like, he didn't have to do that. Thank God he was able to, because there were times where he had to drive the truck. He had to do this. And it's just like, man, like, we need to hire at least 2 more salary, like, solid people on this team. And it just wasn't happening. It was just really tough. So it wore on him. It wore on all of us. And, yeah, he was just like, man, I just need to pump the brakes and run a couple races myself. Maybe I'll drive, and maybe I'll just, you know, license people. I don't know what I want to do. I was like, hey, you know what? I give you props for being true to yourself, you know, and being honest. And, you know, I was like, there's nothing, you can't do anything about it, you know? And he's like, but, you know, I want to help you find another team, because obviously I'm not done. You know, I think I'm just getting in my groove here. It takes a while. So he helped a lot, and he kind of gave me some names, and he's like, you know, I'll talk to this person, that person, and you've got my full support, and I'll do whatever you need. So he was a huge help.
So then fast forward to the Gators, this comfort starts creeping in. You're like, this is what it's supposed to feel like. Even though you were alluding to conserving parts, at least for the now being, but that comfort level came in. When did you just know, all right, we're moving forward well?
Well, during testing, I mean, we really didn't get to make like a lot of full runs. That was our first. We got 2 days, and there was a lot of rain prior to the race. So I didn't have really many full runs in the car. And it's a new chassis, like a JFR chassis, which is different from what we were running forever. Different body. It's a Dodge Charger body. So that was different. New team, new crew chiefs. They do stuff differently. They tune the car differently. It feels different, sounds different, does different things. But that being said, it all fell into place really fast and it all worked. And it's like, okay, there. Now I got my confidence hella fast. And confidence is a hell of a motivator. It's a hell of a game changer. And the proof was there.
Yeah. So what have you learned that helped this crazy situation come through to where you are now? I sense the relaxation. Where did this all come from your past?
I just think, you got to go through it to get to it. You got to eat dirt, I'll say. You got to eat dirt. At least I feel like I am who I am today because of all the stuff that I went through. The fires, the crashes, the ups and downs of drag racing. I mean, it's the most humbling sport, as we all know. We're not out here because we're making millions of dollars, and I'm not out here for notoriety. I'm here because I love what I do, and I love the sport, and I'm passionate about it, and I love the people. And when you win, when you do good, oh my God, it just washes all the bullshit away.